Okay, so let's talk about Guilty Gear Strive. Hot topic. Beta just ended. A lot of people got to play. A lot of people got to experience. And a lot of feedback has been provided from a lot of people. So I want to give my feedback. I want to give my impressions. I don't want to down the game too much, or I don't want to bag on it. I don't want to praise it too much either. So I'm just going to be as honest and raw as possible with my feelings on Guilty Gear Strive. So, first and foremost, I'm going to be breaking this down into 2 different sections, okay? Actually, yes, 2 different sections. Each section has a subcategory, okay? The first section is going to be, of course, the gameplay. That's very, very important. And I broke it down to pros and cons. Simple, clean. That's all I'm going to do, all right? After that, we're going to be going over the aesthetic portion, the lobbies, and what was it? The UI. So, I'm sorry, not the UI. Freaking the lobbies and just the overall look of what they're trying to achieve with the game. So, anyways, either or, we're going to leave that off to the next one. As of right now, let's take a look at the gameplay. All right? The gameplay portion. Let's take a look at the pros of Guilty Gear Strive. There's a lot of stuff that I actually do like about Strive. I don't want this to just be all criticism, even though most of the criticism is heavier than all of the good stuff that came out of Strive, okay? First and foremost, let's talk about how good the game looks. Just get that out of the way. The game looks freaking amazing. I cannot even fathom how they were able to make this game look so freaking pretty, all right? Lots of style, lots of aesthetic. They really want to make this as flashy as possible for anybody who's not a fighting game player and who are fighting game players to be like, oh my god, that looks freaking dope. Looks really cool, man. So, now we got that out of the way. Gameplay portions. One of the biggest things that I was very concerned about was, of course, how is the game going to play? Is it going to play like Guilty Gear or is it going to play like something else? Something else. I will say, with sincerity and with great pleasure, is that it still feels like Guilty Gear. It hella plays like Guilty Gear. Actually, this game feels more Guilty Gear than I ever would have expected. I thought this was going to be way different. No, this is still Guilty Gear. All right? Anybody who tells you otherwise is, I don't think, gets the point of the game or what the game is trying to achieve, okay? Strive still feels like Guilty Gear, which was my #1 concern. That was a big one, okay? I wrote down notes, by the way. I have notes here. Oh, God, oh, man, come on, dude. Anyways, so, with that being said, it's still Oki heavy. There's still lots of Oki to be had. A lot of people were saying there's no Oki, there's no corner pressure or anything like that. There's still pressure, there's still Oki. It still feels like Guilty Gear, okay? I absolutely love the impact that every single thing that you do in Guilty Gear has. I'm one of those people that actually likes the slow motion, the camera work. Now, the camera work has a con as well. I'll get to that in just a moment. But I do like the effort that they're putting in to make it more stylized and more aesthetically pleasing to look at with the slow motion and the zoom in. I don't mind that. I think it looks really cool. And it actually could help out in the long run. You just have to get used to it, of course. Now, the camera does have a con, so don't worry, I will get to that when I get to the cons. But I will say that I do like the impact and all the different camera work that you do with this new game, okay? I like the new Roman cancels. The new Roman cancels is something that's actually one of my favorite things that I like doing in the beta. I love doing red Roman cancels, purple Roman cancels, and the regular blue Roman cancels where you just do nothing and you slow down time outside your bubble. That is actually a cool, interesting, fun way to be able to play Guilty Gear now. Even though things have been simplified, like you hit the red Roman cancel and it automatically does a launch for you, that's cool. I like the new... I think that mechanic or that concept of like juggling is new to Guilty Gear. If I'm wrong about that, let me know. But I think that's new. I really haven't seen that in Exerd. I don't know if it was done in previous games, but in Exerd, there was really not that many juggles per se, which is really cool, I think. I like juggles a lot. So that whole mechanic with the RCs, the new RCs are awesome. I love that there's no YRC. All the RCs, Roman cancels, I mean, cost 50 meter, which is great. It's normalized throughout the entire board, which is great. And I really like them. Ram was, that's right. Ram was a juggle character. You're right. And that's why I kind of liked her a lot. She was really cool. Okay, so RCs are great. I love how grabs have been nerfed. That's one of my biggest pet peeves about Exert and Revelator. The grabs were so freaking strong. They were like frame 1, super freaking dumb and brain dead to be able to pull off. You can option select grabs in the air too. I hate it. I didn't like the grabs at all. The grabs were just so freaking stupidly good. They have changed them and nerfed them. So now instead of like frame 1, I think they come like frame somewhere between frame 2 and 4, something like that. So regular grabs, and these are regular grabs by the way. So those grabs have been nerfed and they've been moved to the dust button, which is something that I really like because you can't just be spamming like J heavy slash all the time and getting a hit when the move hits or getting a grab if they try to jump at you. So freaking goddamn, that was so dumb. Brainlessly just pressing JH, especially soul players. Oh my god. So anyways, they moved it to the dust button. So now you actually have to think and have to realize, hey, I have to grab here and I can't rely on this button that does everything for me. I have to physically, mentally move my finger over to the dust button so I can grab. And you have to hold the direction too. Because if you don't hold the direction, you get the JD, jumping dust. So you have to hold forward or backward depending on which direction you want to throw them. I like that a lot. So the new grab changes are great. And they also have a whiff recovery. That's important. I like whiff recovery. It makes it so I can bait them. So I like that. With that being said, clashes, aka no danger time. Now I like to meme a lot. I love memeing. So I love danger time, especially when I'm looking at other people suffer going into that danger time. But now that I'm playing Guilty Gear again, I'm kind of glad that I don't have to go through that. So no danger time. The clash system is similarly to Blaze Blue or to Grand Blue, whatever the case. It doesn't have a huge animation. I feel like they're going to be updating the animation for clashes because they were so subtle. In the beta, they're very, very subtle. You clash and you didn't even know you clashed. So there's no big sound effect. There's no big animation for it. So clashing is cool. aka no danger time, which is great. The transitions, the intros, the outros, freaking phenomenal. So much aesthetic to them. I love the new intros. Of course, it's just the freaking beta. So we don't get that many interactions between two characters. You just get the same dialogue over and over and over and over. But I love the intros. I love the transitions from intro to match. Love it. I think it looks great. Freaking fantastic. Beautiful. And the outros as well. Simple, easy, clean. Get to the point. Let's get to the next match. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, I don't know if that's going to change. Well, that might change when instant kills come into the game. And that's another thing. Instant kills, I think, are going to be... that's not neither a pro nor a con. Instant kills are going to be back when the game releases. I guarantee you. So anyways, intros, outros, freaking awesome. The new dust applications. The dust button has been changed. Now, this was a change that I didn't originally like, but it grew on me. Because the dust button is not what it used to be. It's something different, and it's actually really good. So, here's the thing. With what the direction they're going with the wall bounces, with the juggles, the new dust button is actually really good. Because think about it. You get a guaranteed wall bounce, which means a guaranteed combo. You also get to be able to set your mix-up. It's an overhead. So you can go low, you can go dust. And dusts have been universally sped up throughout the cast from previous Guilty Gears. Now, once again, if you get full risk, or if you get a counter hit naturally, then you get the launch. And you get a freaking buttload of damage. I'll get to the damage in a moment. But you get a buttload of damage. So, how they implement it, and like, after thinking about it for a brief period of time, and kind of letting it, like, simmer within me, I'm like, you know what? I kind of like the new dust mechanic. I like the new dust. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people would rather have it launch. I was one of those people, but as soon as I played the game, I said, okay, now I see why they changed it to be that way. I see now. That's good. So, the new dust is good. I actually like it a lot. Okay, so, with that being said, everything being air blockable. Now, this is something that a lot of people didn't like initially. I don't necessarily mind it because of how important risk gauge is. And building up risk gauge is a huge part of this game. Building up risk gauge and being able to, capitalize on the risk gauge. So, because of that, DPs, 2Hs, 6Ps, those are all air blockable, but you get a considerable amount of risk. And I like the fact that if you DP and they block in the air, you get sent flying back. I don't know if you guys noticed that. If you guys played the beta, you guys realize that whenever you block the DP in the air, you freaking go flying backwards. Like across the screen, which I like. Because if DPs are not going to be unblockable in the air, then they should be somewhat safe. I actually don't mind that at all. Because, man, how bad would that be if you get a DP, you're in counter hit state, the opponent lands, and he's able to get a full blown out counter hit punish on you. Man, that would be freaking devastating. Devastating. It'd be like BB tag, but worse. So, I can see why they did it, and I don't mind the air blockable moves. I don't mind them. Because of the direction that they're heading towards, okay? So, air blockable moves. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it that I can think of for everything else. The gameplay seemed pretty fun. It was a lot more simple, but then again, it was still fast-paced. Overall, as a summary, it's still hella fast-paced. So, anybody telling you that it's a lot slower and such, they have not played the game enough or have not played it, period. Because the game is very fast-paced. You have to keep on your freaking toes. So, overall, I'm starting to see the different gems that they have implemented into the game. However, let us transition over to the cons of the game. Now, like I said, these cons have more weight than the pros. So, here we go. Even though there's not as many things or equally as many things, here are the cons. First and foremost, getting it out of the way. Wall breaks. Wall breaks are freaking stupid. I hate wall breaks. The way that they implemented them. I understand the concept behind them, and I don't mind wall breaks. I don't like not guaranteed, but wall breaks that are basically, they're inevitable. Inevitable wall breaks. That's the word I'm looking for. They're gonna break. Unless you drop the combo, you stop comboing them. But if you stop comboing them up until the last hit, they can tech out, and it's the weirdest animation ever. They tech out of the wall, they go flying behind you, and that's it. You lost the corner. Unless you... Either way, wall breaks, how they should be implemented is that they should be a choice. You want to get the meter buff, you want to get the extra damage, then you should have an option to not break the wall. Which is why I think wall breaks should only be accessible if you hit a specific special move or hit maybe the dust button. So for example, you know how on the last hit of the wall break, they're just stuck there for like a couple seconds. They're just stuck there. So at that point, either you should be able to dust to break the wall, and that's the only button you can wall break with, or maybe something like a DP or like a very heavy hitting move, something like that. But I think there should be something where you have a choice to wall break or not to wall break that doesn't include you just literally doing nothing and waiting for the opponent to get up. Because any hit, and I mean any hits, will send them flying. So I think the wall breaks are... I don't like the wall breaks at all. Seriously, I did not like them. Alright, so that's number one. Number two, let's get all the heavy stuff out of the way. The second thing. Gatlings. You heard this a lot over the weekend. I think a lot of people expressed their feelings on the Gatlings. I cannot believe that they said that they were gonna simplify the game, but make Gatlings so freaking complicated to understand. Gatlings are so freaking hard to understand now because there's so many new rules and properties. Very picky, very peculiar on what they could combo into, what they can Gatling into. Before it was like just press ABC or press like, you know, crouching 2 and standing B, standing C, stuff like that. It was simple. You just press the buttons and the buttons come out. You need to press buttons in an anime game. I'm just saying. Even freaking Granblue does this correctly. Come on now. So, with that being the case, the new Gatling rules freaking suck. I hate the new Gatling rules. I hate the fact that I cannot combo my light punches or my punches into dusts or punches into other normals. I hate that the fact that I can only cancel into dust from kicks, but can't Gatling into other things. Now, you can Gatling light normals or the light punches and kicks into special commands, and that's fine and dandy, but the fact that I can't enter how do I say this? I can't interchange between punches and kicks together and chain them together while also having the ability to maybe go for a knockdown and such just restricts the different possibilities and the freedom that I have to be able to play the game. The fact that they're trying to restrict whatever you're trying to do. Now, I don't see really, maybe they have a reasoning behind this that if you were to connect all this stuff, you're able to get wall combos easier, able to get combos a lot better, yada, yada, yada. Well, that's the thing, man. Let us do things. You want to make a fun fighting game, let us do things. The more accessibility to the freedom that we have, the funner the game gets. If you start to be like, you start to explore a specific route and then you hit a wall because the system doesn't allow you to continue that path, you're going to be like, what the hell, dude? And you're going to have to go back and then find another route to be able to get to your destination, if that makes sense. So, I hate the Gatling rules. The new Gatling rules suck. I don't like them. Now, you can get used to them, but I can get used to them. I'm definitely not going to like them, though. And more than likely, I probably would end up like dropping the game if the Gatlings stay the same. I'm not even kidding you, dude. I'm not even kidding you. Games that are supposed to be or have a legacy or have a precedent that allow you to press buttons and be able to create your own routes or convert your own routes, freestyle, like just freestyling your confirms. That's what's fun. That's fun. So games like that can restrict you that way. I don't want to deal with it, really. So, anyways, Gatling suck. Next one. Don't get me wrong. When I say drop the game, I mean in a way that I have a few different rules when I play fighting games. Like, I play fighting games, and then I casually play fighting games. Guilty Gear Strive will automatically get put back in the back burner. I'll play it sometimes when there's new patches and stuff, but in terms of like my choice of game to play at that time, probably not. So I'll still play it supported because of rollback, of course, but you know, either way, that's how it be. Okay, third thing. Actually, I'm just gonna continue on. Gonna continue on here. Air dashes, freaking goodness gracious, air dashes. Now, air dashes have a new mechanic to them, or new continuity to them. Where they, of course, your air dash, it looks like, what's the freaking move called from Devil May Cry? Either way, there's a glyph that gets left behind, and your activation starts a lot slower for when you air dash. And to be honest with you, I really don't like the new slowdown. Now, dashes, whether they're good or bad, I just don't think they feel good. I think they feel clunky as hell. They feel so, air movement feels so clunky now with the air dashes. Forward dash, there's a big startup, but back dash, there's like no startup at all. So I'm like, what? There's no consistency. I wish they would have kept the air dashes the way that they had them back in the Arc Revo demo, which was normal, just air dash, that's it. I think they're trying to be able to make it more anti-airable, But I'll get to that in just a moment. They're trying to make it more anti-airable, which is fine, but you're going to sacrifice a little bit of mobility and freedom and just... I love movement. It's one of my favorite aspects of a game. Now, when movement... I don't mind movement being slow. I mind when it feels clunky. Guilty Gear Strive feels clunky when it comes to air movement. And I don't like it. I don't like the air dashes. I really don't. There's some sort of gravity to them, too. It feels like they drop. Gravity has been increased in Strive. Either that or every single one of the casts, like, they gain some muscle mass and they just drop faster. I don't know. Something like that. So, air dashes not only are slower on startup, so they feel clunky, but they're also just, you just drop like a friggin' potato, dude. So, it just feels weird. It doesn't feel good to air dash in that game. Which is weird because, like, I think they're trying to make it more grounded. That's the whole point of it. But man, dude, Guilty Gear with no air movement? Dude, come on. Okay. Anyways, that's that. Air dashes is another one that I did not like to use. The next thing is going to be defensive Roman cancels. Defensive Roman cancels. I'm not like a huge fan of the new... of them taking out dead angle and replacing them with defensive Roman cancels. Basically, YRC in previous games or in Revelator has been moved to a kind of an alpha counter or a V reversal or a dead angle or a counter assault, whatever you want to call it. It's now, instead of you hitting the opponents, you basically just like a get off me move where a burst of aura comes around you and you reset the neutral from there on out. I don't know who has the advantage. I wasn't able to test that.
You can't stay off the weed.
The weed. Anyways, thank you so much, Miss TJ. So yeah, we weren't able to test out who gets the advantage once you get the defensive Roman cancel, but I really like dead angles and counter assaults. I like those. I like those get off me moves. I like how every character has really good ones and some of them has really bad ones, depending on the character themselves, because some of them have really good ones, but they might not have like the greatest defensive options. Like people that I guarantee you, if you go back, the people with the best dead angles are usually the ones with the worst reversal options. Unless you're Johnny and Soul. You know what? Never mind. Scratch that. Either way, dead angles. Dead angles are straight up one of my favorite things about the defensive options in Revelator, and they took that away for this really weird universal defensive Roman cancel, which I'm not a huge fan of, so I didn't like it. Okay. Next up, the damage. I think the damage is a little bit too much. I think damage should be reduced just a smidge. The game does a lot of damage. More damage than I ever would have expected. More damage than BB Tag. However, I do know that sometimes whenever the opponent plays smart and they burst correctly and they don't willy-nilly throw out buttons so they can get counter hit or get command grabbed, then the match can last a little bit longer, of course, and gut starts to set in. But dude, command grabs do so much damage. Counter hits do so much damage. You either have to up the guts, up the defensive stuff, add more health, or reduce the damage across the board. Just reduce it by like 10%, 20%, 10-20% across the board, dude. It's freaking crazy high. It's crazy high. Now, I can play a game with big damage. I mean, I play freaking Grand Blue and BB Tag. What the hell am I talking about? But I feel like Guilty Gear Strive is a game where it would benefit a whole lot more if you just pace yourself a little bit more when it comes to damage. You know what I mean? Reduce the damage a little bit. I think the game would be a lot more enjoyable. Like, I literally had like 30-second matches. I wasn't able to. Now, remember, it's a beta. Things are still in order. But I'm just saying, in the future, hopefully they can increase the defensive aspect, the guts, something like that, or they just reduce the damage across the board. So, I hope so, man. I hope so, man. Chip dies in 2 freaking command grabs, man. Poor Chip players. Poor Chip players. Holy crap. Anyways. Damage a little too high. And, okay, let's take a look at... This was a small one, but I wanted to mention it. Fatal counters versus regular counters. There's no... Now, I think this is also due to the fact that this is a beta, and they really haven't completely finished every aspect of the game. But if you notice, there's certain moves that have big counter hits, and there's some moves that have counter hits. So, the regular counter hits that you get to see are the ones usually from just like a jab or like a kick or maybe a regular slash. But then you get the big freaking counter hits that usually come from sweeps, from heavy slashes, yada, yada, yada. Now, I don't like the fact that they don't differentiate the two counter hit states. The only thing that differentiates them is the camera movement. They don't say fatal or counter, and then the other one's like just regular counter. Something like that. Something to differentiate between the two counter hit states would be great. I didn't like the fact that sometimes I would get like a huge zoom in, huge slow motion for like a big counter, and then all of a sudden I get like a regular counter. No, it's just slow motion, no camera zoom in, and that's that. So I think they should definitely be able to work on that a little bit more to either differentiate more between the two or just get rid of one of them. That could be two. You don't have to do slow motion for like the regular counter hits. Just have it say counter hit and have it be staggered a lot longer. And then for the big counter hits, just have it slow motion and crazy style and stuff. So anyways, that's one of the things as well. Zoom counter. All right. Next up, I think this is an obvious one, and I think this is one that they should really pay close attention to, because I don't believe that they want to intentionally do this on final release. The freaking combo counter. The combo counter is asininely ginormous when it gets to double digits. When it gets to double digits, goddamn, it's freaking the size of Africa, dude. It's giant. It's huge. Lord 1-8 shows up out of nowhere. He's like, am I taking up too much space? Okay. Lord 1-8. that's the meme these days. Anyways, yeah, reduce the combo counter. Make it freaking normal. Don't make it expand every freaking time you get higher and higher in the combo counts. Just make it normal. There's nothing wrong with just having a normal combo counter. Nothing wrong with that. Don't make it huge. I don't know. So anyways, that's that. Combo counter, crazy. Next up, weak anti-airs. This game has extremely weak anti-airs. It's so hard to anti-air in this game. This game definitely promotes air-to-air confrontations rather than you trying to anti-air with 2H, with 6P, or with DP. Anything like that, because of the gravity. The people fall so freaking fast in the at least in the beta that you weren't able to have either one enough time to anti-air, or they don't have enough invincibility for you to hit them out of the air. That happens a lot. I was stuffing a lot of anti-airs this weekend. So I think it's better if they keep this aspect of Guilty Gear. I think the way to go about anti-airing is basically jump back jab, jump back kick, air to airing basically. Jump grab. That's also a thing. So yeah, anti-air's extremely weak. The wonky, this is something that I think they're going to fix. So, but I'll still address it. Wonky camera bugs. So when you get the big old zoom in, sometimes the camera stays fixed on the opponent, on the player while he's doing the combo. It looks like a freaking highlight. You know the let's watch the replay. Then you start you look at a different angle, a different aspect of the freaking combo that they just did. That's what it looks like, and it's so freaking distracting that sometimes I could see that actually leading to a round ending situation or a round losing situation where you have the combo, you got the counter hit, and you got the camera bug, and then all of a sudden it leads you to drop it because it's distracting, whatever the case may be, and that's it, done. So I think the camera angles, for the most part, will get fixed next time, but just wanted to bring that up. Okay, so let's go ahead. Oh, by the way, this is the last thing. Oh, I'll leave that for later, actually. So, this is... Do I have everything? Oh, okay. Before I get to the big one. Heart rounds. The heart count. freaking weird. I can get used to it, but man, why the hell are you trying to change things that work already? I don't get it. Why do we have hearts instead of round counts? It just, I don't understand. You lose a round when you, like, you're losing lives. What is this, freaking Mario? Come on, man. I understand if you, like, gain a heart. No, not gain a heart. Just get a round. Just freaking get a gear there, man. Come, what, hearts? Guilty hearts? Really? Come on, dude. Can you get, like, a gear there? Like, you gain a gear every time you win a round? Come on, dude. Guilty hearts? Come on, dude. All right, anyways. The UI. The portraits. The burst meter. The UI in general. Just the interface of when you are in a match and you look at your health bar. I don't like the path that they're trying to... Here's the reason I don't like the path they're treading on. The reason why is because they're trying to exhaust resources and time into a place where they don't need to exhaust time and energy and money into. It's a simple concept. You have a portrait, you have a burst meter, you have your risk gauge, and then you have life that goes down. Whose grand idea was it to attach all of that onto the health bar while it's going down? I don't get that. I don't understand who did that, who made the conscious decision to do that. Now, they're trying to simplify the game a lot more. They're trying to make it more user-friendly, and they're trying to make it so it's more aesthetically pleasing and a lot cleaner to look at and such. But I think it looks just like distracting. Everything moving alongside the health bar is such a weird decision to make, man. It really is. It's such a simple concept. I mean, look at this, guys. I mean, look at this. How hard is it to do something like this? Something like this. Something like that. You see the HUD? It's not great, but it's simple, it's clean, and it's something that we can all understand. The only thing is that there's no risk gauge on here, but you put risk gauge on there somewhere, and that's fine. You got the portrait, you got the burst. It looks kind of simplistic, and I don't necessarily like it either, but I think it's better than what we have now. Health bar, round counts, burst, portrait. The only problem is there's no risk gauge, but don't worry about that. I'm just showing you guys this as an example of something that works. Man, look at the old one. Look at the old one, guys. God, that's so bad. Got the hearts. Dude, the hearts moved with the freaking health bar. Like, why? So this is another fan-made one. So as you can see, you got the risk meter here, got the health bar, got the portraits, the burst bar. You got a little, whatever. It's a very beta prototype health bar, but it looks better than what we have now. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is that Arc System is trying to reinvent the wheel here. They're trying to innovate things that don't need innovation. It really doesn't. Like, why are you changing the UI? It really doesn't. It's a freaking fighting game. Who in their right mind is a new player and looking at the freaking the game and they're like, I don't understand the health bars. I don't understand the meter. Like, it's complicated, yes, with the risk gauge and everything if you don't know what's going on. But you can definitely understand, hey, that's their portrait. That's the character they're playing. That's the round count. That's the health bar going down, and you have to exhaust the other opponent's health bar to win. And there's the meter. You get to do cool stuff. Like, who in their right minds are freaking like, I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't get it. But anyways, I think the UI is better than what we had in the previous version of Guilty Gear Strive, but it's still pretty bad. Actually, it's still trash. Good basura. So the UI is no bueno. That's pretty much all the aspects I wanted to talk about with the gameplay. Pros and cons. I gave you the whole rundown, guys. I laid it off, got it off my chest as raw as I can. Holy crap, that was a long segment. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We still got one more thing. Actually, two more things. Let's talk about the worst part about Strive. The worst part about Strive. The lobby system. The lobby system is the worst lobby system in the history of video games. And I can say that with the utmost confidence. The lobbies are legit AIDS. The lobby system is legit AIDS. It's the worst lobby system I've ever seen implemented. And even as a placeholder, it's the worst placeholder lobby system I've ever seen. Why is it so bad? Is because a couple things, all right? There's some things I do like about the lobbies, which you will not hear every day for sure. The worst thing about it is the matchmaking. The fact that you have to end the floors. The fact that you have to stand next to somebody, pull out your weapon, and then hope and pray to God that you actually got into the queue and matched up with that person is number one. Number two is the floor system. The floor system is so bad. You have a skill-based floor system where it assesses your games every 2 or 3 games or 5 games, whatever. It assesses your progress and it moves you up or down. And you have to waste so much time rather than actually playing the game. You waste so much time moving up and down a freaking floor or lobby. Instead of going with the traditional ranking system, they're going with this weird lobby ranking system, which is so freaking bad, dude. It's terrible, man. The lobby system as well has this bug where if you're huddled up, you cannot get a match. It just gets overloaded for some reason. So Arc System sent out a tweet in the middle of the beta saying, hey, practice social distancing. Play 6 feet apart from from other groups. Find your corner, find a little spot to pop a squad or something, and challenge the other person. Well, guess what? If you're a content creator, that's not going to happen. Everybody who is playing on Twitch, Maximilian, Leffen, Sajam, all these freaking people were getting freaking, like, butt humped by everybody to trying to freaking play, dude. Freaking everybody trying, oh my god, play me. Pull out the weapon. And they're just freaking just, like, getting up on my grill, you know, freaking, like, in the club. Oh, man, it was so bad. And I couldn't get a single, I had to leave so many times, come back in, and then try and get somebody. It was so whack. A streamer, get him. I want to play him. What happened to cabs? Guilty Gear had one of the most revolutionary lobby systems in its time when it first came. Rev 2, I should say. Or Rev 1, I should say. Rev 1 or Rev 2? I think Rev 1. And then Rev 2 kind of made it even better. With the lobby system and the room system, so freaking good. The cabs were great. So, lobby system is absolute 8. It's terrible. It's awful. Please do not use it. Now, the thing that I did like about the lobby system, the avatars. I don't mind the avatars. I really don't. I like the customization. I like the aesthetic to it. I don't mind that. As long as you just take out the whole floor system and let me roam around in a 3D space. Well, yeah, have you guys ever played Blazer Central Fiction? I want a lobby like that with those avatars. I don't mind that. It was kind of cute, the way I was able to customize. And who knows, when the game comes out and they're still using the avatars, you can utilize a freaking character that you like and maybe customize them. Similar to BBCF. I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that. So, overall, lobby system, absolute basura. It's trash. Basura. Garbaggio. Throw it out. Make it again. No good. No good. Anyways, that's the lobby system. The second thing is the character select screen and the versus screen. I don't mind the way it looks. I don't mind the way that they're trying to go. It's still better than BB tags. Just want to let you know. They're trying to categorize it. They're trying to make it look as simplistic as possible. I'm here to tell you that the Guilty Gear Strive character selection screen looks exactly like Mario Kart. Like, I feel like after I click my character, I'm about to pick a parasol to see if I can glide to glide with. Like, I'm waiting to pick my cart and my parasol. Like, it looks like Mario Kart. So, it doesn't look great, but I don't mind it, per se. I can live with it. It just doesn't look like Guilty Gear. You take a look at Revelators and Exert's character selection screen. It's a freaking gear. Got chains everywhere. Rock and roll music. It's freaking sweet, man. Now you have this, like, simplistic, which I don't mind either, but it just doesn't look great. They're trying to categorize things. They're going with this new thing with categorizing it. And there's ways that I've mentioned before with the BB Tag one, because BB Tag also categorizes with franchises. This one categorizes with playstyle. So one of them's balance, one of them's a powerhouse, one of them's a grappler, one's a speed type, yada, yada, yada. They're trying to categorize it that way. There's ways to be able to do that without actually putting in categories. I don't know. Categories seem a little bit weird. I don't mind it, but there's better ways to do it. I am a big fan of making a regular character selection screen When you hover over that character, it shows you the category they're in. This is a balance type. Without actually picking a category, then going to that category to pick a character. Oh, these are the balance types? Let me take a look at that. It's clean, yes, but I'd rather go with something that's visually striking. That makes me want to pick a character. Doesn't matter what category they're from. So, anyways. Character selection screen. It's not the greatest, but it's not terrible either. So, hopefully they just go from there. See, Killer Instincts? That's a good one. That's a good one. I actually don't mind Killer Instincts at all because it looks great. It looks awesome. They balance it. They categorize it by seasons. So, and it looks good, I think. So, that's a good example of what a good one looks like. A lot of style. It looks like Killer Instinct. Guilty Gear does not look like Guilty Gear. So, the last thing I wanted to kind of touch up on is the versus screen. This is a very small one, but I wanted to mention it. The fact that you get like a little tiny post stamp, a little tiny stamp with the character's portrait and then your name with a freaking flying eagle in the background. I don't know, it looks weird. I don't mind the flying eagle, but I think they should do something else that's a little more striking. So I can tell you, all right, time to go, man. I'm ready to freaking beat ass. That is pretty much everything I had to say about Guilty Gear Strive. Goddamn, long section, but I want to get everything off my chest. Everything. So that is pretty much everything I had to say. I think I'm missing one or two things, but they're probably not as important as what I mentioned already.